Hi guys, welcome back to your Not So Ordinary Scrapbook channel. Today I'm going to continue on my December daily. It's not really that late in the afternoon. It's like 11:30. I had one client this morning. My client that I normally have now, their family is in Florida. They're at Disney, so I didn't really so I was unable to see them this week because they're gone. But so I came home and I do have I wrote my report out for the child I saw this morning, and then I decided to come in here before I go back to working on my training course courses that I need for my credential, because my temporary credential expires June 30th. I thought it expired the end of May, but I got notification that it expires June 30th, which is great because I still have, let's see, what did I figure out? Okay, so yesterday I did 1.5 credit hours. I still have half of a credit hour to do. And then I did, last Thursday, I had a Zoom one that was 1.75 credit hours. So, I'm working my way down. So, most of the courses don't take all that long to complete. They're like half an hour courses. Basically, it's online. And it's all through U of I, through EITP. But so I go through. I think that'll be a good background for that. The only thing is it's not double-sided. Bad idea. Where are my double-sided ones? I think they're in. Did I put them away? Somewhere else? Well, I could just put like a different color in the back, I suppose. Well, that's double-sided. I could do this one. Couldn't I? Because that would match. Just trying to fill this page. And maybe like, well, oh, that won't work either. Is it big enough though? I mean, I guess it is. Okay, we'll just do that. I lost my train of thought. Oh. So, I've been working a lot on that, trying to get that done. I kind of have a schedule that I made for myself, so I get it done the end of May. I have another Zoom course starting on Thursday, which is going to be hairy because the course starts at noon, and I have a client at 11 o'clock in Middletown, which is probably about a 20-minute drive from here. And so I'm going to be like 20 minutes late for this course because the session gets done at noon, and then I got to drive home. So I'm going to turn it on. Like, I'm going to turn on Zoom, what is it called? Zoom Office or whatever it is. And then I'm going to have my husband, like, I'm going to log into the course before I leave for this client's house. And then you don't have to have your camera on like during the session or during the course, the Zoom course, but they want you to like at least show that you're there. So I'm gonna have my husband just type, like, make sure the camera's off, and then turn and then like type in the chat hi or whatever, hello, good afternoon, whatever. And then when I get home, I'll immediately go in there and turn on the camera. I don't think that I will have missed much, you know, in 20 minutes. But that's how I'm going to have to do it, because I can't rearrange this client. So that's just going to have to be how it is. He said he'd do that for me, so that was nice. And, oh, I found that tweezer. Oh, man. I found my scrapbooking tweezer, but it's in the other room. I don't know. I'll have to go grab it after. This is really hard to get at without. That is the only thing. This adhesive is super cheap, and I love using it because it is so cheap and it works really good, except for it's not the easiest to get this part off, the throwaway part. So that's what we're going to do anyway with that course, because I didn't know what I was going to do. And this was a course that I paid $25 for. I didn't realize that it started at noon at the time. All these courses, all these Zoom courses are like on Thursdays, which is my busiest day of all days. So it's like, you know, if it was on any other day of the week, it would be great, but there's nothing I can do about it. So the past 2 days were pretty challenging for me, work-wise. Sometimes I have clients that have severe disabilities. And sometimes there's magical moments. Yesterday morning was one of those magical moments that, like, I left thinking, like, this is why I do this job. You know, this is why I love doing what I do, because it was just a magical moment. A child did something that I honestly thought that this child would never do. And, or, you know, I had high hopes that it would happen, but if it did happen, I thought it would be like way in the future. And it was the coolest thing to witness. It was just so cool. And, I'll never forget it as long as I live. It was just amazing. And then sometimes the same day, I had another client that was really difficult. And you're not always going to have good days. You're going to have days where, I mean, you're working with kids. So it's like, you just never know what kind of day the child's going to have. I always use those days like that as like learning experiences, because I'm learning about the child. I'm learning about how the child you know, perceives the world on a regular daily basis. You know, life cannot always be roses. They're going to have bad days. And, you know, and especially working with children with disabilities, you just never know what you're going to get. You know, a lot of what I do is like learning. I'm learning from the child all the time. And they're showing me, you know, and a lot of times in these situations where it's challenging, you know, it's challenging to get them to do what you want them to do, or they're aggressive, or, you know, they throw things, or for whatever reason. I just always try to remember that that this is a learning curve for me. You know, I'm learning from them, and then I kind of try to follow their lead. Now, I don't allow them to like break my toys. I mean, you know, I do try to sway them from that, and I say things like, you know, we don't throw that, or nice hands, or, you know, gentle, or whatever. But a lot of these kids just don't know, you know, what they're doing. They're just, and it's my job to learn from them and then try to teach them a more appropriate way to handle their self-regulation. So, and, you know, you're not always going to have, that's not always going to happen with all kids. It's just, there are some adults that don't self-regulate well. So, you know, you got to look at it from that perspective that, you know, but there's just an awful lot that I need to learn about specific disabilities that are just more challenging to work with. And some days are going to be off days. Like some days I have kids that, some weeks I'll have kids that are like really in tune with what we're doing. They're, you know, they're engaged. They're interacting with the activities. Everything is going well. And then there's days where they don't feel good, or, you know, and, you know, activities that they once could do very easily, they're unable to do on this specific day. And that's all okay. Generally what I do on days like that is I just let them take the lead, and I just do what they want to do. Even if it's just sitting and reading a book, or looking at pictures in a book, or, you know, interacting with them, making, you know, animal sounds, or doing finger plays, or singing, you know, songs, just anything to provide them with an outlet to just relax. And it takes a lot of patience sometimes. Do you know what? The sticky just came off of that. There's no sticky on this at all. This was a sticker, and like the back of the sticker came off. So we're just gonna have to run this through the sticker maker. So I'm learning. I'm not there yet. I mean, I tell my boss this all the time. I'm like, you know, you have to tell me if I make a mistake or if I do something wrong, because like I'm new at this, you know, even though I went to school for it, you know, it's just totally different. It's not, you know, there are aspects of it that, yeah, I'm glad that I have the knowledge behind me. But it's hard to remember everything without, like, a lot of times I find myself saying, well, I need to research that and I'll get back to you, you know, because it's impossible to remember everything that you learned. And I ask a lot of questions, and, you know, it's just always learning. And there are some disabilities that are like, are so complex that there's just not a lot of answers. And you just got to try different things and see if it works. And if it doesn't work, then you try something else. And, you know, and hopefully it's short-lived, whatever, whatever, you know. I know that the kids that I have right now, you know, even the more challenging ones, I know that there's gonna come a time where I'm gonna have kids that are way, way more challenging than these little guys. And you know, I'm learning from these kids that, you know, just patience, you know, mostly patience, and learning how to see the world from their eyes. And it's exciting, and it's challenging, and I'm not always super confident in myself as far as like what I'm doing, but I'm trying. And the parents are well aware. I mean, you know, if your child has challenges, you as a parent, you're well aware. You know your child best, you know. And most of the time, those challenges are what they need help to work through. And so it's good for us to observe that, because then we can get, you know, a well-rounded view of the whole child, not just on good days, but on bad days too. So what I like to do with cards, and even with like Project Life cards, I like to add stuff to them. I know there's a lot of channels out there on YouTube that show how to do this. Sometimes when I'm just sitting watching TV, like if I don't feel like scrapbooking or anything, I'll take a stack of cards and like a little box of embellishments and my little stapler and some adhesive, and I'll just watch a show and like add little doodads to it to kind of make it more interesting. I also like will grab a couple washi tapes or whatever, and so I put like some washi tapes, a little flag on there, and then like a random sticker, star sticker, and then this I think I printed out from somewhere. It's just something I printed on the computer, I think, or is it a stamp? Might be a stamp that I stamped something with. And then I just cut that out and attached it, and it just makes the card look more interesting. And I do that with things like this too. Like this postcard that I got. I wanted to add some stuff to just kind of make it look, you know, more interesting. Oh, I just dropped my star. I didn't realize that wasn't attached. Okay. I better attach this before I forget. There. These did not bend down, so I need to find, I think I have a little hammer in here, somewhere. Unless I moved it. Story of my life. Moving things. And I can't find them when I need them. We'll just use the bone folder. There. So I'm hoping for a very slow weekend. The one thing that we're going to do is I am going to redo my kitchen. Not as far as like a couple of years ago, we decided to redo the countertop in our kitchen because it was like, it hadn't been changed since we bought this house 20 years ago. And, well, 18 then at that time. And, so we decided that we were going to, I somehow got glue here. I feel like I need to put something there to cover that up. I know it's not necessary, but it bugs me. Random things bug me sometimes, which is really odd. I don't know, unless I can erase that. Maybe I can erase it. I do have a adhesive remover. Maybe that'll work. Oh, I'm gonna make a mark on this. Well, that removed it, but it made it bigger. Unless I put it in different spots. Maybe I'll just do this and then like make it look old-fashioned a little bit. So it looks like it's supposed to be there. But it's not like if I just make some marks on her dress. Yeah, there we go. It kind of blends in now. So it looks like it's supposed to be there instead of like a little dab of glue. Okay, so was there anything else I wanted to add to this? I don't think so. I wasn't going to journal on it or anything. And it's not really a day page. It's just kind of like a filler page. So on this page, I'm going to want to put like something large on top to cover that up. It's not the right color. I need something like that, maybe. I think that'll cover all of it. So my plan for today is pretty simple. Just like film this video, upload it, and then pretty much work on hammering out some more credit hours for the rest of the night. Last night I finished at 9:30, I think, was when I decided to call it quits. I could have kind of went longer, but I was like, I was really tired. I printed out 2 certificates that I had, of courses that I had completed, and then I was like, okay. I got halfway through. I finished part 1 is what I did on this current one that I'm doing. It's an assessment one. And And it asked, do you want to start part 2? Because these are all self-paced. And the only ones that are not self-paced are the Zoom ones. This is like, there we go. I thought that this was not double. It's ripping. I don't know where this sticker is old. Some of my stuff is super old. Or things you get at garage sales and like secondhand stores, it's old. So you just never know what kind of condition it's going to be in. Just do your best. All right. So hopefully I can get this. This is ripping off. So I'm going to have to try to fix that. I don't think it'll be noticeable if I can fix it. I'm just like, there. I like that. Okay. Do I want this one up here? I think so. I might as well use this up. I'm not going to use this necessarily, but I'm going to use, now trying to get this apart. That should be interesting. So anyways, I was talking about my kitchen. So we painted the cabinets a couple years ago. They used to be dark brown. We painted them white with cabinet paint. We redid the countertop because we didn't want to pay the money to have a new countertop installed, which we're going to have to do eventually. I mean, that's just one of those things that you're just going to have to do eventually, but it's one of those expenses that like we're kind of putting off because there's more important stuff that needs to be done. And not that you should put off things for 20 years by all means, but you know, like we did. Don't follow my example. But you probably know what I'm talking about. Like if you own a house, it's like you kind of take care of the most important things, you know, first, and then like the aesthetic things, you know, you just wait it out sometimes. But I'm gonna do this puzzle on here. I think we're doing a Christmas puzzle. I think I can cut like this. This is kind of a tradition that Scott and I have. And we've been doing this for, well, we used to, it started out that we would do it with the kids. Like every year, I would buy a new Christmas puzzle. And then during Christmas break usually, we would work on this puzzle. And Hunter loved doing that. Like Hunter has always been my puzzle kid. So he would go in when everybody was busy and he would finish the puzzle. Like almost every year. He would just go in and just like finish the puzzle. And we'd all get mad at him. We'd like, no, that's supposed to last the entire Christmas season. But he, you know, he's my Lego boy and he just has a really good eye for that kind of stuff. And he has an engineering eye. So he we did that for years. You know, we'd start out like when the kids were little, we'd get ones that were age appropriate, you know, and then we'd complete it, and then we'd get up to, you know, 1,000, 2,000 piece puzzles. Well, since the kids are older, Ethan has never been a puzzle kid. He just has not enjoyed puzzles. Matt, it was hit or miss. You know, sometimes he enjoyed doing a little of it, and then he was done. Ethan would do you know, kind of the same. He'd do a little of it, and then Ethan is more of a gamer. So now that the kids are grown, Scott and I have continued the tradition, but we're more particular about the puzzles that we buy. Our favorite are the Cavallini because they come in canisters. And we've both decided that 500 piece puzzles are more our speed. Like, we really enjoy doing 500 piece puzzles because the 1,000 piece puzzles, they just take a really long time. And when you want to relax and just do something, you know, that's just like really light, you know, just kind of like relaxing and enjoyable, you know, completing 1,000 piece puzzle is not always what you want to be doing. So we both decided that 500 piece puzzles are like our speed. And so every time Cavallini comes out with a new Christmas puzzle, we grab it and we'll buy it. And we have some for other holidays too. Like, we have a Valentine's Day one, which we didn't get to put together this year because I was in the hospital. And then I'm gonna do day 8. And we have what other one do we have? We have several Christmas and winter ones. Do we have any other holidays? I don't think we have any other holidays, but they're really good quality puzzles. They're definitely a favorite. I like the canisters too. They come with a bag inside, like a canvas bag, storage bag. So that's really nice too. But this is one of the Cavallini puzzles. You can see like the canister right there. And this is a winter one. It's Christmas, but it's winter too. So, it doesn't really go. I'm tired. These early morning sessions are difficult to get used to. Memories are not planned. I do like that. Okay, so I need like a tag or something. Oh, make some Mary. Oh, yes, I definitely need to use that. This is an Allie Edwards thing. It says streaming and doing. I don't know if I'll use that or not, but I knew that I had some that I hadn't opened yet and taken out of the package when I was showing them to you. Yeah, that's definitely perfect for that. I am so hot. Okay, so on to a different subject. Well, maybe I should finish the kitchen subject first. So anyways, the white cabinet painting. Okay, so we have white cabinets now because I painted them white with cabinet paint. And then we painted the countertops black, but it was like a countertop kit. So it came with epoxy and all that stuff. And it was like a marble thing. And I never really liked it that much because I didn't think that I did the best job. I tried, but it wasn't really all that user friendly. And so it was very challenging to do the marbling. I wish I would have just left it plain black. But it didn't last very long. Like, I did this 2 or 3 years ago, something like that. And it's already scraping off. Like, it's just not what I wanted. And I kind of figured out that it's because the epoxy that I used, we didn't put enough epoxy on. Like, you kind of got to pour it on and then like let it dry, and it's kind of messy, and you know, and when we did it, it looked good going on. It looked good right after, but then it just didn't wear well. And so, and we just used what was in the kit. Like, we didn't buy, it was just like a cheap alternative. So I don't like having white. I've realized over the past couple of years, I don't like having white cabinets on the bottom. The top is fine, but the bottom I'm not that keen about. And the reason why is because they get dirty. Like, I live with men, and they are not, like, my husband will pour coffee all the way down the counter, or all the way down the cabinet when he's pouring a cup of coffee. My son will, like, get food, like, all the way down. And then our garbage can is, like, built into our cabinets. So, like, that gets filthy because people are not careful throwing stuff away. And, you know, it's just regular life. It's not like anybody's doing anything wrong. It's just, you know, regular life wear and tear on stuff, you know. And guys just are not all that careful when it comes to, like, throwing stuff away or making food or whatever. They're just not. That's not their, you know, maybe some guys are, but my guys are not. You know, they're just kind of in a hurry to eat, and they don't really think about what they're doing. And it doesn't matter how many times you remind them to, like, be careful when you're throwing stuff away, to make sure that you get it in the trash and not down the front of the cabinet, you know. And so I decided that the bottom cabinets need to be a different color. They just need, I like the white on top, and the white on top is fine, and I'm going to leave that. But I decided to do the bottom half like this blue-gray color. And our walls need to be painted in our kitchen anyways. That has not been done in like 15 years. The wallpaper border is outdated. Back then, like, the wallpaper border was in style, and it is like the more modern style of wallpaper border, but it's still, it needs to come down. There are parts of it that are like, the glue is not sticking all that well anymore, and so that needs to come down. I have this like striped wallpaper on some of the walls, like three of the walls, that's like navy and white striped, that I put up like right after we bought this house. So it's over 20 years old. And that's when I think we put up the wallpaper border too. Yeah, we bought that together, because the wallpaper matched the border. And it was kind of like a French cafe type wallpaper. And that all just needs to go. And the paint is scraped in different areas, you know. Just a lot, you know, moving furniture, doing, you know what happens, you know, when you do all that kind of stuff. So, so I'm going to paint that. And mind you, like, this needs to get done because our bathroom still is not tiled. It is not painted. We're still dealing with, like, we have to put up the ceiling, which is like, well, the drywall is up, but I'm doing a wood ceiling, like a plank ceiling. And we have all that stuff, but we just haven't done it yet. We haven't figured out, like, okay, what should we do first? Should we do the floor tiles? Should we do the ceiling? Should we paint the walls? Should we, you know, and the mudding is done for the most part, but that hasn't been done. And this stuff just needs to get done. We gotta do it. I want this done by the end of the summer. I'm just tired of having an unfinished house. And there's, you know, and our hallway too, when my dad built our bathroom, he took out, the door to our bathroom used to be a linen closet door. And the bathroom door was always a smaller door. And my dad said, well, in order to put a shower, because my dad rebuilt our bathroom, in order to put a shower, like a big walk-in shower, and a big soaker tub in there, we're going to have to take one of the doors out. Like whichever side you decide to go with, we either need to take out the small door into the bathroom, drywall over that, and then put the shower and the tub on that side. Or if you want the shower and the tub on the other side, we need to take out the linen closet door because the room is a lot wider. We took out that linen closet and the bathroom that was in our bedroom. We took that out and we just made this big, huge bathroom that's like a Jack and Jill bathroom. So you can get into the bathroom through the hallway, but you can also get in through the bedroom. And so we did that. But the wall that Dad covered, that like the drywalled over where that small door was, he is still drywall. It needs to be, and it's kind of a weird shape. Like the drywall matches, but like the house is settled, so it's not the floor is not flat. So what I think I'm gonna do there, like Scott and I talked about it, and I'm like, it's gonna take a lot of mud to like make this like mesh and look right and all that stuff. And so then I got to thinking, I was like, you know what? What if we put, that, what is that wood called? You know, where you do a wood wall. It's not wainscoting. It's, trying to think what it's called. Shiplap. Yeah. So I decided to do that whole wall in shiplap. And that I have not ordered yet. We need to go to Lowe's and decide. I think I'm going to do it in barnwood. I think that's what I want to do. And we're just going to do that whole hallway wall with barnwood, and that'll cover that up. And then you won't even know that used to, like, that it's not like perfectly even. And then the other side we're going to paint, because that wall has not been painted in over 20 years either. So each project needs to be done, and with both of us like working pretty much, well, I work a lot of hours, but I don't work, like, I pretty much set my own schedule. That's one benefit of my job, is that I schedule appointments and I fit people in where I have room. And so some days I only have one client, some days I have two clients, some days I have a lot of clients. It just is how my schedule works out, because if I'm in one area, like if I have to drive out of town almost an hour away, I'm going to schedule clients all in that area on the same day. There's no sense in me driving. Here's another one of Aria. Her 4 months. She turned 4 months on the 12th. So that's not... I need to save that for the 12th. Oh, you know what? This was the day of the Christmas party. The 9th. So that was me leaving work at the Y on my way to Springfield to my first Christmas party as a developmental therapist. So that was kind of exciting, and I got to meet our whole group, and that was kind of neat. It was fun. It was a fun time. Our boss is really cool. So that's one aspect of my job that I am enjoying so far, is that I have a really cool boss, and she does a lot for us. Like, she really, like, when she throws a party, she throws a big party. She lives on Lake Springfield, and like the Christmas party, first of all, I wasn't even doing it yet because I didn't even have my credential yet, or my temporary credential yet. But she had hired me. Like, everything had not even been approved yet. Like, I don't even know that I had my fingerprints done yet. I mean, I had to have my fingerprints done to work at the Y. But, like, they make you do it again. Like, to be a developmental therapist, they kind of go more in depth to make sure that you're going into people's houses. They want to make sure that you're safe. And so, like, my fingerprints that I had to do to work at the Y were done at an office in Springfield that was like they go through like a registrar, like of I don't know exactly how they do it, but the company that did that, they send it through like this like database through the whole country, and just to make sure you're okay. Now with this, I had to go through the school district. So I had to go to the Board of Education, and it had to be done at the Board of Education. It couldn't be done anywhere else. So I did that, and but that wasn't even done when she invited me to the Christmas party. She just was super excited to have me on board, and that makes me feel good when, like, I fought so hard, like, with going to school online. Had I had to do it over again, is that how you say it? I don't even know if I'm saying that correctly. Had I had it to do over again, I would not have gone to school online. I would have just drove up to Bloomington and went to ISU. And then I wouldn't have had all the problems that I've had, like having all the, making sure the school was accredited so I could work for the school district, as a teacher. All that. But I'm kind of glad that didn't work out, because I'm making more money than I ever would have as a teacher. So that's nice, and I really enjoy working one-on-one with kids. Like, that's my sweet spot. I like working one-on-one with kids and not having to deal with like a bunch of kids is really what I was created to do. So, and hopefully I'll be able to do this long term. You just never know. There's health, there's hopefully I don't come across any situations where, I don't want to do this anymore. Or they don't want me to do this anymore. I mean, you never know. Like, I always thought that I would work at the Y, forever, because I loved working with those kids, I'm glad that I'm not now, because now I can schedule more kids in the afternoon when I was working at the Y. I have several kids now that I see during times that I would have been working at the Y. So, and I definitely make more money than I doing, taking clients than I did working at the Y. But it still makes me sad because I had bonded with those kids like over the summer last year, and then in all I worked there for 9 months. It just it's just frustrating when over the summer I didn't work with that boss that was such a pain to work with. In the fall I didn't work with her. I saw her every once in a while, but I didn't work with her at the site where we worked. I just knew her briefly, like in passing, because she mainly worked at the office. And she was fine. I mean, I had no problems with her. Now, I worked with her daughter last summer, and I kind of got the inkling that her daughter was kind of a pain in the butt, because her daughter last year was 24, and she just was, she had a different kind of personality. She just is young, and I remember her like sitting outside watching the kids play on the fitness court, which actually they're not supposed to play on. I don't know if the hospital knows that they play on it or if they gave them permission to play on it because they're supervised. But like, there's a sign up there that says that kids are not supposed to play on this because it's workout equipment. It's workout, like outdoor workout equipment. But that's not for me to say either way. I don't know. They did end up building like a walking trail around it for people who like to work out on that side of town. Of course, I'm not a fan of that location as far as like walking, so I will never walk there. I will just walk at the place that I'm used to walking at, because I enjoy walking at the other place. The other place is more like a park. This new one that they built around the fitness court is just like around a field, and there's nothing pretty to look at. It's just kind of blah. But it's closer for people who live in that area. But the one that I like to walk at has a pond, and there's trees, and it's just, flowering trees and stuff like that. It's just really, really, and bridges. So there's a lot of it. It's just very peaceful there. Even though I haven't been walking like there since last summer. Well, last summer was the last time I walked there. But that's because I've been busy, which that's no excuse. I want to start walking again, but my favorite times to walk are early in the morning because it's cool, or later in the evening because it's cool. I do not like walking in the heat of the day. That is not enjoyable to me at all. But I know that I do need to start doing that again, just because more so to keep my heart healthy than anything. You can take your semaglutide or whatever and lose weight and all that stuff, but it's still not going to make your muscles stronger. In fact, it may make your muscles weaker. So your body isn't just all about looks. It's about like strength and and stamina and all that kind of stuff, which I am no expert at all on. If I had to do that over again, I would have taken way better care of myself. Way, way better care of myself, especially after I had kids. I was like after I had Hunter, and Hunter was kind of our miracle baby, you know, all my focus was on taking care of him, taking care of Matt, and then focusing on the possibility of having another child. And I really didn't think about how my body impacted any of that. You know, I really didn't care about what I looked like. I was just like content with like life as it was at that point in time. And I was young. I was in my 30s, but that's young enough to like be able to not have a hard time, you know, getting fit or anything. I'm not going to say that I wasn't active, because my kids were really active kids. So I wasn't like laying on the couch eating donuts, watching soap operas. I wasn't doing that. But I wasn't actively exercising either. And part of that time I was working at the school, and I would exercise, like kind of exercise with the kids at PE. I mean, I would do the things that they were doing, but it wasn't like for a very long time. Not the level that I should have been working out at. What do I want to put on here? But that's one regret, because I don't think that I would have all the heart problems that I have now had I taken better care of myself. Because even when I was 40 and they checked my heart and everything, when they found the myocardial bridge, they said, your heart looks good, it looks strong, there's nothing wrong with your heart during that heart cath. So I know that my heart was okay when I was 40, but it was the time period between 40 and 50 that, because I was diagnosed with congestive heart failure at 50. So like that 10-year period, I must have really just not been very active. I know when I first started walking back then, like right when I was diagnosed with heart failure, they said, okay, you need to get moving. And I'm like, I don't walk. I don't, you know, I walk, but I don't like exercise. I don't exercise at all. Haven't exercised for like 10 years. And it was really hard. I remember the first time that we tried walking around the park. Like, I didn't hardly walk anywhere, and I was so thoroughly exhausted. It was really hard. It was really hard at first, and even after I started rehab, like, it was really, really hard. That first rehab session, I did not want to go back. I was like, all there is old people here. I feel so out of place. I don't want to be here. And it's so hard. It's just, I'm not going to be able to do this. And, I just kept persevering. I had people that were cheering me on, and that helped me a lot. It helped motivate me to continue even when I wanted to quit. And then it just got easier and easier and easier over time. And then I was just walking miles and miles and miles and not even thinking about it. I was still slow. I think I will always be slow when it comes to like walking and stuff like that. I'm just not and I think that stems from our car accident that we had. I basically had to learn to walk and run again after that accident. And I never was able to like regain that speed like that I once had as a young kid. I just have always been slow when it came to like gross motor activities. Just always slow. And I don't know if part of it is just I'm ultra cautious. I did run some, like, there was a period of time when I was married to Joe that we would go running together. And so I did run with him when I was in my 20s, and well, it would have to be in my 20s because I was not married to him in my 30s. But we would go running like on Saturday mornings or whatever. We had like a jogging stroller that we would go jogging, and I've never been one that could ever jog either. And now when I try, like I've tried to run a couple times, and I feel like I'm gonna die. Like literally, I feel like my whole body is just like I don't know how to run anymore. It's like my body is telling me, don't even try it because you don't know how to do it anymore. Which is really odd because sometimes my body tells me that I can still do a cartwheel. You know, it's like, oh, sure, I can do a cartwheel. And then if I tried to do a cartwheel, I would probably kill myself. I would probably hurt myself like to the extreme that I would like have a heart attack or something. I'll put these hearts on here. I think, do I want to do it all the way? No, I think I'll do that. This just says smiling is my favorite because I was super excited. I might use letter stickers to do like excited. I don't know if I have a sticker that says Christmas party. What about my stamps? I have this magnetic stamp set. I know it says Christmas. Did I party? Picnic. Oh, they do a party. Okay, cool. All right, so I'll do Christmas party. So this is a magnetic block. This stamp set just says word stamp kit, magnetic poetry. Okay, so I bought this used. I don't know what company makes it. So I'm looking for Christmas and party. It's kind of hard to see these. Here's party. Okay, and they stick to this magnetic block so you can put words together. That is hard to see them. Hanukkah. What's this one? Independence. Yeah, Independence. Here's Christmas. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna put Christmas party on here. Hopefully this works. Okay. And I've been told that I've never used these before. So I've been told that you should use an eraser over new stamps to get the ink to stick better. So we're gonna try that. Okay. Make sure it's straight. That's gonna go that way. Okay, good. All right, and I think I'm gonna stamp it in red. There's like a crystallization. Or I mean, those are crystals. That's so weird. I wonder if I should wipe those off. I mean, I would imagine that I should. feel like it's not inked enough. I'm wondering if I should use a different stamp ink. Try a different ink. Because I don't want to accidentally like stamp something and then we'll try this vermilion lacquer. Ooh, that one's really old. Yeah, that's pretty well dried out. Wow. Okay, so we won't be using that. This is what happens when you have old supplies. I do have another red one in here. Where? These metal tin stamps do not stay shut very well. I have learned that over the years. Like I have these holiday vintage ones that are in metal cases. Is there a red? Here's red. I don't know. This is called Christmas Season's Greetings. Gosh, this looks dried out too. I don't know about this, guys. I have refill ink for these things, but ew. I don't know. I need to test it. A little white piece of paper. Oh, okay. Well, it does work. All right. I guess it works a lot better than I thought. Okay. I guess all of this stuff does need re-ink though. I'll do it on my page and then I'll... Oh, it's good enough. Okay, good. This does look better, but it's okay. Okay, it just says Christmas party. The cool thing about the magnets is you can like do it up and down, or you can do it across or whatever. And this just is... Okay, so I need a 9. Number 9. I should check what time it is. Scott went back to bed after I got back. I don't know why he didn't go back to bed like right after I left. He likes to get up with me and like make coffee and stuff like that and visit with me a little bit because he works until 11 o'clock, and like if I have clients in the morning, I'm in bed by then. So then we like drink our coffee and kind of talk to each other and stuff like that. And so, and then, but I don't know why he didn't go back to bed, because sometimes he goes back to bed. And he didn't. He was awake when I got back. And is that dry? I'm kind of afraid to stick that in there. It's not really coming off. I don't want it to rub off on this, but this is plastic coating, so it should be fine. Okay. All right. I don't know how long this is. Let me check before I do one more layout. Oh, it's 1 hour and 9 minutes. I think I should end it here. I don't know when I'll film another video. Tomorrow's really busy. Thursday's really busy. Friday I have an afternoon client. I'm trying to get through like these courses before I start filming more. Like once I'm done and I have my full credential, then I don't have to like do other stuff. I have more time to scrapbook is what I'm saying, or do things that I want to do after work. Whereas right now I have other priorities that I have to do. same thing with exercising. I was talking about walking. Like, I'm kind of giving me the rest of this month to finish all these courses, and like, because all my extra time is spent doing that, and then I'm thinking like the beginning of June I'll start walking again. So I think that I can pick it up pretty quickly. I know last time I like periodically throughout the year. I shouldn't say that the last time I walked was last summer, because this past fall, like periodically every so many months, I see if I can walk a 5K, and it's slow. It's a slow 5K, but so I'll do that. Like, I'll walk around, and if I can do it, then I'm like, yeah, you know, I can still do it. You know, I'm not too bad out of shape, but I have not walked since I got out of the hospital. So that may be different. Like, I don't know what that being sick like that did to my body. I'm really not sure, because I really have not exercised at all since that situation. And I'm hoping that that I'm fine, you know, that I'm good to go, and like nothing was affected really, and I can just continue on. My heart doctor really hasn't said anything like any different, like that. I know that I had like some scary episodes in the hospital with my heart, but my heart doctor is perplexed by it all, and thinks that it's just due strictly from the illnesses that I had. And so does my GP. I talked to him too, and he's like, I really think that it's just, I had some paper towels here. There we go. He thinks that it's just because I was so sick. He said a lot of people have been getting like really, really sick. So, okay. That is that. I'm going to put these away. So this just stores in this like tin, which I love. I think I'm going to use this a lot. This is a stamp set that I think I see myself using a lot. I do need to buy some new ink though. I'm going to have to look into, I want to get some Tim Holtz ink. I've heard a lot of good things about it. And you can use it, it's very versatile. You can use it in a lot of different ways. So I'm hopeful that that's what I can do, is find some for a good price and like buy the set, like a set of it, or maybe a smaller kit. I don't buy ink used or secondhand, just because ink dries out. It's one of those things that like it doesn't last forever. You know, stickers, if they dry out, you can put them through like a Xyron and then make a new sticker with it or whatever. But when it, or you know, like enamel dots, if they stop getting sticky, you can use glue or whatever. But like stamp ink, once it dries out and you don't, you can't refill it, then you're kind of SOL. Like this is, I do have these, like this is walnut stain refill, and I do have like a walnut ink pad. So I have some of these distress ink like refills that I can use, but I find that like the pads get old and like they don't like absorb as well after a certain amount of time. So I don't know, it's kind of a horse apiece. So but I thank you for watching, and I will hopefully see you back here on Friday, or on Saturday, sometime during the weekend. I like to do Sunday afternoon ones because Sunday is kind of my scrapbooking day. So if I don't see you on Friday, I'll see you on Sunday. But everybody take care, and I hope you have a good week. Bye.